the encirclement of the Nazis in the Ruhr Pocket during April.
1945 was one of the most significant and decisive operations on the Western Front in World War II.
It marked a turning point in the final months of the conflict, sealing the fate of Nazi Germany and hastening its unconditional surrender. The operation showcased the effectiveness of Allied coordination, overwhelming firepower, and strategic planning. This article delves into the background, execution, and consequences of the Ruhr Pocket campaign, exploring how the Allies managed to trap and crush hundreds of thousands of German troops in what became known as Germany's industrial heartland. By early 1945, the Third Reich was crumbling under the weight of simultaneous offensives from both the Soviet Union in the East and the Western Allies. In the West, the failure of the German Ardennes offensive, commonly referred to as the Battle of the Bulge, in December 1944, had drained much of Germany's remaining reserves, leaving its military overstretched and incapable of mounting effective resistance. The Ruhr region, located in western Germany, was of immense strategic importance. Known as the industrial backbone of Nazi Germany, it housed vast coal mines, steel mills, factories, and transportation networks essential for sustaining the war effort. Capturing or neutralizing this region would deal a crippling blow to Germany's ability to continue fighting. Additionally, the Ruhr was home to millions of civilians and served as a hub for military logistics, making it a prime target for the advancing Allies. As the Western Allies crossed the Rhine River in late March 1945, they set their sights on exploiting the disarray within the German forces. General Dwight D. Eisenhower, Supreme Commander of the Allied Expeditionary Force, devised a bold plan to encircle and destroy the bulk of the German Army Group B, commanded by Field Marshal Walter Model, in the Ruhr. This operation would become one of the largest encirclements in modern military history. Planning the encirclement, a double envelopment strategy. The strategy for the Ruhr Pocket centered around a classic military maneuver known as a double envelopment. This involved two pincer movements converging on the enemy from opposite directions, cutting off escape routes and trapping them in a confined area. The operation required meticulous coordination between multiple Allied armies and relied heavily on speed, mobility, and overwhelming force. Key players: Field Marshal Bernard Montgomery's 21st Army Group, operating in the north. This British-led formation included British, Canadian, and American units. General Omar Bradley's 12th Army Group, dominated by American forces, this group played a central role in the southern thrust. Specifically, the encirclement was executed by the U.S. Ninth Army, advancing southeast from the Rhine River bridgeheads in the north. The U.S. First Army, driving northeast through central Germany from the south. Their objective was to link up near the town of Paderborn, thereby surrounding the Ruhr region and isolating the German forces trapped inside. Execution of the operation Phase 1. Initial advances in the weeks leading up to the encirclement. Allied forces made rapid progress across western Germany. Several key events set the stage for the Ruhr Pocket operation, crossing the Rhine in late March. The U.S. Ninth Army successfully established bridgeheads over the Rhine River, after capturing the intact Ludendorff Bridge at Remagen. This allowed Allied forces to consolidate their positions on the eastern bank and prepare for further advances. Disintegration of German defenses. By early April, German resistance was increasingly fragmented due to shortages of manpower, fuel, and supplies. Many units were understrength and poorly equipped, unable to mount coherent counterattacks against the advancing Allies. With these advantages, the Allies began positioning themselves for the final push into the Ruhr. Phase 2. Pincer movement on April 1, 1945. The main phase of the operation commenced. The U.S. Ninth Army launched its drive southeast toward the Ruhr, while the U.S. First Army advanced northeast from the south. Their goal was to meet near Paderborn, completing the encirclement. Northern Arm, under General Simpson. The Ninth Army pushed rapidly through northern Germany, overcoming sporadic resistance from scattered German units. On April 4th, elements of the Ninth Army reached the outskirts of Paderborn. Southern Arm. Meanwhile, General Hodge's First Army advanced with equal determination, breaking through weak German defenses and securing key towns along the way. By April 7th, units of the First Army arrived near Paderborn from the opposite direction. On April 7th, the two arms of the pincer movement linked up, effectively sealing off an area approximately 130 kilometers wide and 70 kilometers deep. Inside this pocket were an estimated 300,000 German soldiers, including remnants of Army Group B, which consisted of the 5th Panzer Army and 15th Army. Phase 3, mopping up the pocket once the encirclement was complete. The trapped German forces found themselves cut off from reinforcements and supplies. Ordered by Adolf Hitler to hold their ground at all costs, many of these troops attempted to mount desperate defenses, but their efforts were futile against the overwhelming strength of the Allies. Divide and conquer. To expedite the destruction of the pocket, the Allies divided it into smaller zones and systematically eliminated resistance. Artillery bombardments, airstrikes, and armored assaults devastated the encircled Germans. Surrender negotiations. As conditions worsened, morale among the German troops plummeted. On April 14th, Field Marshal Walter Model dissolved Army Group B and fled into the woods, where he reportedly committed suicide rather than face capture. Without leadership, organized resistance collapsed. Mass surrenders. Between April 15th and 18th, large numbers of German soldiers surrendered en masse. By April 18th, the entire pocket had been cleared, with over 317,000 prisoners taken, including 24 generals. Aftermath and significance. The fall of the Ruhr Pocket represented a catastrophic defeat for Nazi Germany. Not only did it result in the loss of hundreds of thousands of troops, but it also deprived the Wehrmacht of vital resources and infrastructure. With the Ruhr under Allied control, Germany's ability to wage war was effectively crippled. For the Allies, the success of the Ruhr Pocket demonstrated the effectiveness of coordinated multi-army operations and underscored their growing dominance over the faltering German military. The operation paved the way for subsequent advances deeper into Germany, culminating in the capture of Berlin by the Soviets and the eventual unconditional surrender of Nazi Germany on May 7, 1945. Conclusion. The encirclement of the Nazis in the Ruhr Pocket stands as a testament to the skill, determination, and logistical prowess of the Western Allies during World War II. Through a combination of strategic foresight, superior firepower, and relentless execution, the Allies achieved one of the largest and most decisive victories of the war. The collapse of the Ruhr Pocket not only sealed the fate of Nazi Germany, but also symbolized the triumph of Allied unity and resolve in the face of tyranny.